This is the voice in the wilderness of the people, coming to you in the great wind. This is the day that EZER has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I pray that EZER has kept you in his righteousness, in his favor, in his mercies, and that he has protected you from all danger, from all accidents, and from all iniquity. And he have answered your prayers by you calling on his name, doing his commandments, and hoping in his promises. O EZER, my Father who art in heaven, praise be to your name. Your kingdom will come on earth one day, now as it is in heaven. Give us every day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who sin against us. Let us not be led into temptation, but deliver us from all manner of evil. For you have that power and that glory. It all belongs to you. So I thank you, EZER, and sing praises unto you for your great glory. I call out your name, O EZER, that name that you have given me, that I can praise you. And I put it out in the wind to my brothers and sisters, that they may hear your name, and they will call upon your name, and they will cleanse themselves from the name of blasphemy. They will cleanse their lips and no more mention the names of idols. They will no more mention the name of the false deities and evil deities of the nations. Praise be to you, EZER. Praise be to you. I pray, EZER, that you will bless the words that will come out of my mouth, the words you have set within me. And you have given me for a while to make this lesson. I will put your word out in the wind as I promised. I will not hide it from the great congregation. And I pray that those whom you want to hear it, you will open them ears and allow them to hear your name and your words that you have spoken. All praise be to you, EZER, our Father, the Father of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob. You who created me in your image and in your likeness. You who have set your name upon me as a mark, and your commandments in my heart, that I may know them and do them, and your promises that I am supposed to meditate and consider. O EZER, my Redeemer, I thank you. My dear brothers and sisters, the question is asked. The question is, who was the prophet EZER promised he will raise up among the Hebrew Israelites to be like Moses, Shemaiah? Today I will answer that question for you. And I pray after you listen me and go in your book and you read what I will read with you, you will no more ask that question. You will know it, because EZER have told us and have put in his book and shown us. As I always say, EZER has never left us without answers. EZER have never given us his word that we cannot comprehend them. EZER word is always true and it's righteous and to the point. So my brothers and sisters, I will get to the point with you. I will not be reading the whole chapters. So I want you to know, to get some more detail in what I am saying, we will be reading to you today, especially when I get into the book of Joshua. I would like you to read the whole chapter so you will get to comprehend and see that everything that Shemaiah did, Moses did, Joshua did the same. You will see that as Isaiah spoke to Moses, before he does anything, you will see also that Isaiah spoke to Joshua. Now, my brothers and sisters, a lot of my brothers and sisters are getting mixed up with that name, Joshua. We know there was not a J in existence when this book was written. So we know his name was not Joshua. And this brother's name was Yeshua. His correct name was Yeshua. It was always the I was used. And my brothers and sisters are getting confused. They have taken out the I and they have put the J. Who did this? The Romans. The Romans took out the I and they put the J. And then we have the Jews. The Jews removed the I and they use a Y instead. The Jewish Yahweh came from their Talmud. They removed the I as an ayah and put the Y and you get Yah. The Romans removed the I and they put the J and you get Jah. My dear brothers and sisters, I have mentioned this so many times for you to search it. The name of our Redeemer is EZER-IAH. When you change the letters, you change the sound of the name. And we are not to change his name. Once the sound is changed, the name is changed. And we are not at liberty to change the name of the Most High. These changes that I've just spoken to you about, all of them came after these scriptures was written. These was not the words spoken in the old, like in the 1615 Bible and 1616. It always was that I. And that's why you still see his name in the name of the prophets. They left them in the name of the prophets, but they remove it everywhere it was supposed to be throughout the scriptures. They remove it. In Psalm 68, when you read it, you will see in there they change the I and they put a J. And the Jews, because they create that name Yahweh, which came from their Talmud, from the Tetragrammaton, that the Most High did not give us. The Most High gave us his name. He spoke his name to Shemaiah. So what we had for his name was a sound. And sound cannot be translated. Sounds have to be transliterated. It have to carry the same song. And that's why the Most High tell us his name transcends all language. Whichever language you go in, the name was supposed to be the same. But since we as a people are influenced by the Gentiles. The Jews are Gentiles. Read your Genesis chapter 10. They are Gentiles. And the Gentiles was never given the name of the Most High. The Romans are Gentiles. They are from the seeds of Japhet. My brothers and sisters, we are from Shem. We are not from Japhet. We are not from Ham. We are from Shem. And we are Shemites. Shemites. The Israelites, the Jews call themselves Semitic. We are not Semitic. We are Shemitic. Shemitic. We are not Jewish. We are Hebrew Israelites. We are not Jews. The Jews are a pale people from Khazaria. We are not them. Just as the Most High give us in his word. And he tell us, our brother is Esau. Esau is our brother. And then the Most High told us he's sending us to a strange land, a strange people who are not even people. They are not even people. A strange land. A land that our fathers have not known. A language they have not known. And when we get there, they're going to make us worship wood and stone. The Gentiles has caused us to worship wood and stone. The Gentiles has given us all these Babylonian names. The Gentiles have taken the name of the Most High out of the book. The Gentiles have put that false name in the book. The Gentiles have put the word Lord and God. The Gentiles has put Baal. The Gentiles did that to our book. I need you, my brothers and sisters, to comprehend this. They are the ones who have done this. So I take you back to what I began with. Yeshua was the name, and they changed that name to Joshua. They changed the I and they put the J and they pronounce it Joshua. His correct name was Yeshua. And he was the only one called Yeshua. He was a general, a Hebrew Israelite. He was like the second hand to Shemaiah, Moses. And he was the one that lead the children of Israel into the land, the promised land. We cannot confuse the son of Nom. He was known as the son of Nom. We cannot confuse him by making a savior and giving him this general's name. We cannot do that. We cannot believe like the Gentiles do to make up a savior as they make up and then give him the name of that Israelite. My dear brothers and sisters, the Gentiles have faked a mighty one unto our people. I does not even go in the book. I don't even want to read the book. I could go in the book and show you how misleading it is. But I does not even want to go in the book because I don't need to go in the book. Because the Most High told me the book that he has given me, none have lost its mate. So I don't need to go in the book. Read the book that EZER give us, and you will not need no other book. You wouldn't need no new book. The Most High does not change. He didn't give us a new book. He didn't send us a new book. He did not do that for us. Who wrote the new book? Was it the prophets? No. It was some Gentiles wrote that book and telling you that Paul wrote book, and Paul was Hebrew Israelite. Did Paul write any book? None of them write books. The Most High didn't send us Matthew. He didn't send us Luke. He didn't send us John. He did not send us no apostles. The Most High sent us prophets. And the prophets he sent us had his name in their name. And that's why most of his prophets had his name in their name. And their name, like EZER-IAH, EZER-IAH, Hezekiah, all of them have IAH in his name at the end, because this is how our ancestors read, from right to left. Not from left to right, from right to left. So the ending of the name would be pronounced first. And what they give us for first would be last. So when you call the name, it will be EZER messenger, EZER have heard, EZER sent, EZER delivered, EZER praise. And when our ancestors heard their names, when they visit like their villages or travel, when they heard their names, the names of the prophet, they knew there was men of EZER. That's how they knew them, by their name. Like you meet a man, he says his name is EZER-IAH. In those days, you will know he was sent by EZER. When he say his name is Jeremiah, you will know he was sent by EZER. When he says his name is Hezekiah, you will know he was sent by EZER. Because that's how they named their names. Their names was given. The Most High used to visit and give names to the parents, how to name the children. They name their children for purposes, for reason. It's not like how we name now. Their names had meaning. You know, you had Daniah, sent by EZER. Go to your scripture and see why they had their names. You will know it in the end. But again, I will say to you, his name is EZER. And that's why they remove his name where it was supposed to be mentioned. And where they left it in some places, in the reading, they will change it to a J. But in most of the prophets' name, it was left. Why? Because they know you didn't have the ability to read. And they think you will never be able to call a name like Jeremiah, because they give you the name back to front now. So you have Jeremiah, you have EZER-IAH, Hezekiah. So they think you will never get to the point where you will be able to put that crooked thing straight. But it's by the grace of the Most High. He has revealed his name unto us. And I'm begging you, my brothers and sisters, start using his name. Please, start using his name. Read your book and see what EZER tell you about his name. Read the book. Although he gave it to us in the 10 Commandments, he said, you must not use my name for vain purposes, neither cast it to ruin. He told us in Exodus, this is my name and my memorial forever. And you, brothers and sisters, are still not finding the importance, the reason why you should be calling his name. See, read why you should use his name. It's important. So now I will take you back on the subject. Who was the one that EZER raised up as Moses? And for this, I will take you to Deuteronomy chapter 18, from verse 18, and it reads, I will take you verse 17. Let's start in verse 17. And EZER said unto Shemaiah, They have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. Here EZER is saying, I will raise up a prophet from among the children of Israel. Like unto Shemaiah. He's telling him, tell them, I will raise up one like you unto them. And will put, EZER is saying, and EZER will put his words in his mouth. The one who he will raise up like Moses, Shemaiah, he will put his word in his mouth. Remember, he put his word in Shemaiah's mouth. Remember, Moses told him, he's not eloquent in speech. He used to stutter. And the Most High told him, well, you have a brother, you have a mouth. And furthermore, I will put the words in your mouth. So here he's saying that he will do the same thing to that man whom he will raise up from among the children of Israel. He was not talking about going to some white nation and raising up some pale face to lead his people. He was not speaking here about JC. He was speaking here about the one they called Joshua, whose correct name was Yeshua. And it reads, And he shall speak unto them all that I command him. And here he's telling Shemaiah, when I put my words in his mouth, like how I put my words in your mouth, he shall speak unto them every word that I tell him to tell the children of Israel, he will tell them. And 19, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not listen unto the words which he shall speak in EZER's name. Again, here EZER is telling you, when he go to speak, he going to tell them. He going to call the name he's speaking in. Because EZER is saying here, whosoever shall not listen to the words that person speak in his name, in EZER's name, EZER will require it from him, which means that person will be punished. Verse 20. But the prophet that EZER shall presume to speak the prophet that shall presume to speak a word in EZER's name that EZER have not commanded him to speak, or shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. EZER is saying, and any prophet who comes and speak their own words, saying that he gave them words when he did not give them words, even they speak it in his name, saying that I gave them the word to speak, but I didn't give them no word to speak, or in the name of any gods, idols, Isaiah is saying here to you, that prophet shall die. Now, my brothers and sisters, I go to verse 21. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word that Isaiah has not spoken? So Shemaiah asked, how are we going to know the words that Isaiah have not spoken? How when these people come and speak, how we will know that the words they're speaking is not of the Most High? And he says, verse 22, when a prophet speak in the name of Isaiah, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is in the thing which Isaiah has not spoken, but the prophet had spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. When the prophet comes and says something to you, saying that the Most High Isaiah gave him to say to you, and you see the time come, or what he said will happen, and you see it has not happened. When he tell you it will happen, you will see this, and you don't see it. You are not to believe them. They are lying. Just like the pastors do today. They promise and promise and promise, and it never happens. The 7 days Adventists promised the world was going to end. It never happened. The Most High has explained everything to us, my dear brothers and sisters. We need to read His Word and comprehend what He is saying. Here He tells us how to identify a false prophet. We will identify a false prophet when the false prophet says that something will happen. When he says that Isaiah has told him to say this, or Isaiah's spirit is in him. Here Isaiah is saying when they speak like that and what they say does not happen, you must not believe in them. Don't listen to them no more. Don't go back to their churches no more. Well, if you are a Christian, there was such a prophet on the earth, the one they called JC, the one who went and studied Buddhism when he was from the year 12-year-old until he was 30. The same one you all are saying is risen and gone to heaven. While you're taking your same mouth and saying that your Father who is in heaven, praise be to his name, for his kingdom will come on earth one day. But the one you praying to, you say he's gone to heaven and to prepare a place for you up there. And you're all going up there. But at the same time, you're saying a prayer, saying that the Most High go bring his kingdom on the earth. So you alone go be in heaven. My dear brothers and sisters, he himself died. You know why he died? Because he was a false prophet as well. He promised the disciples, not one hair on their head shall be removed until all the things he said would have happened. Well, they all died. They all died. He told them not even one hair on their head will be removed. They all died. Some was hanged, some was cut with swords, some was hanged, some was stoned to death. They all died. He said he will spend 3 days and 3 nights in the grave, as Jonah spent 3 nights and 3 days in the belly of the great fish. And he lied. They said that they put him there in the evening on Friday. And when his wife went to look for him on Sunday morning. He was already gone. So he lied again. And he told you he was lying. Because they told you when they put him up on that tree, he himself cried out to our Redeemer and said, "Why have you forsaken me?" This is his words. They say he spoke. Why have you forsaken? Do you know the word forsaken? To turn away from, to give up, show no interest, not to protect, walk away from. He himself they tell you the words that came from his mouth, saying, "Why have you forsaken me?" The Most High promised us here in these words I just read to you. He said, I will read it over, verse 22. When a prophet speak in the name of EZER, if the thing follow not, now come to pass, which means if what he said gonna happen does not happen, if it does not come to pass, it does not come to be, like EZER word must be fulfilled. If that person say he's speaking EZER's word and it's not fulfilled, he's telling you here, EZER have not spoken that thing. And that person who's speaking are speaking presumptuously. He's speaking of his own heart, his own self, his own imagination. And for that, we should not respect him. And for that, we should not respect him. That's why I say afraid of him. We should not respect him. Now, my brothers and sisters, I will take you to Deuteronomy chapter 31. Chapter 31. 31. What happened to this thing? It's so thin. Closing up. Chapter 31, and I will read to you from verse 1. And it reads, And Shemaiah went and spake these words unto all Israel. Shemaiah went and spake these words unto the whole congregation. He went and spake it to the whole nation. Remember, they was traveling. And he went and spake it to the whole of Israel. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day, and I can no more go out and come in, as EZER has said unto me, Thou shalt not go over this Jordan. Here he's telling them that the Most High told him that he will not go into the promised land. He wouldn't cross the land to go over to the promised land. And he was old, and he was not agile as he was when he's young. So EZER, your Redeemer, that's verse 3. EZER, your Redeemer, he will go over before you, and he will destroy the nation from before you. And he told them, EZER will go in front of you, and EZER will destroy the nations that are before you. And you shall possess them, you shall conquer them. And Yeshua, which is the one they have here as Joshua, again as I tell you, he shall go over before you, as EZER has said. First proof here, he is showing you the one whom EZER will raise up as he is, as him. Because he tells you here, EZER told him he will not go into the land. He will have to die. He will not go into the land. And here he is introducing Joshua to them, telling them, this is the man that will bring you into the land. This is the man who is going to take over from me. That's what he's saying. This is the one who will take over from me to bring you into the land. Verse 4. And EZER shall do unto them as he did to the Sihon and to Og, the king of the Amorites, and unto the land of them whom he destroyed. All the nations that came out to fight against them when they was traveling from Egypt to go to the promised land, all the nations that came out to fight against them, I have destroyed them. So here Moses or Shemaiah is saying to them, the same thing that I did for us when I was leading you, I will do the same thing for you as when Joshua is leading you. Verse 5. And I shall give them up before your face, that you may do unto them according unto all the commandments that I have commanded you. Everything I tells you to do, you have to do it. As long as you're doing what he tells you to do, you will overcome these nations. As long as you're doing it, you will overcome these nations. Just like he gave us in Psalm 118. He said, with his name we shall overcome them. With his name we shall destroy them. When EZER's name is with us, EZER is with us. When we call on his name, he is with us. Verse 6. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For I, your Redeemer, it is that do go before you. He said, don't be afraid. Have good courage. Don't be afraid. He's speaking now because EZER is with you. So he's telling them, as Joshua go before you, he shall go before you, and Joshua, he shall go before you, as EZER has said. EZER tell them he gonna put Joshua before them. That's what he's saying. As EZER said he's going to put Joshua. So Joshua was the one who he was referring to. And he's telling him, be not afraid. Be of strong courage. For EZER will be with you as he was with me. That is what he is saying to them. He continues. He says, he will not fail you, nor forsake you. And Moses called unto Joshua, and said unto him in the sight of all the people, all EZER-IAH. So Moses called Joshua in front of all the people, and he said, be strong and of a great courage, for you must go with these people unto the land that EZER has sworn unto our fathers to give them, and thou shalt cause them to inherit it. You see, he called Joshua. That's the one who he raised up as to Moses, Joshua. Let us continue. And EZER said, and EZER, he it is that do go before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you, neither forsake you. Fear not, neither be dismayed. He is encouraging Joshua, telling him, now you have to go. You have to lead these people. I have chosen you to lead these people. You cannot be afraid. You have to have courage and not to be afraid, for I will be with you. Verse 9. And Moses wrote these laws and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of EZER, and unto all the elders of EZER-IAH. So Moses gave all of them the instruction, like telling them, Joshua is now your leader. I have chosen Joshua to lead you. So he had to give it to all the elders, all of them, so they may know who is their leader. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 year, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the feast of tabernacles, when all EZER-IAH is come to appear before EZER your Redeemer in the place that he has chosen. Where is the place he have chosen? EZER have chosen Jerusalem. That's where he settled the tribe of Judah. All EZER-IAH and their hearings, they had to hear. All of them had to hear. So he says, gather the people. All the people had to gather together to hear this. Now, my brothers and sisters, now I will take you to Deuteronomy chapter 14. You can continue to read, but my time, I have to get to the points I'm showing you. Now we go to Deuteronomy chapter 31 and chapter 31, we start in verse 14. Verse 14, and it reads, and EZER said unto Moses, behold, your days approach, that you must die. Call Joshua, and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. He tell him, call Joshua, and present him in the tabernacle of the congregation, in that place where they had the ark of the covenant. He had to present him in front of the ark of the covenant among the people, that EZER may give him a charge, so that EZER himself could speak to him. That EZER may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. You see, they went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, where the ark of the covenant were among the people. And EZER appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud. And the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And EZER said unto Moses, behold, thou shalt sleep with thy father, and this people will rise up and go a-whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, where they go to be among them, and will forsake him. EZER telling Moses, these people here, these people, you will go to sleep, which means you will die. But these people will go, and they will go a-whoring. They will go after strange gods. That's what they are doing until this day. They're still going after strange gods, after the Gentiles' mighty ones, the Gentiles' deities, the idols, the Balagad, the Eloahs. They're still going after them and will forsake him. And that's what they have done. They have forsaken EZER and gone after these idols and these evil spirits and fallen angels and Lucifer himself. That's what they have done. Just like he said here. He said, and they will break my covenant which I have made with them. Yes, they break his covenant and they continue to break it. And the false prophet that he just told you about, that you must not believe in them when they tell you something and it does not come to pass. They are the false one who telling you, you no longer have to keep no commandments. Works cannot save you. They are the ones who void the law of EZER. They void the law of EZER and have destroyed his people. Verse 17. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them. And that's what he did with us. And I will hide my face from them. That's why our ancestors was put on slave ships. That's why they was killed with the sword in Jerusalem. That's why they died on the plantations. They died over there. They died in the sea. They died on the land when they got here. And they're still dying. And they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them. My dear brothers and sisters, listen to what EZER said unto his people, unto his prophet, to tell unto the people. You've seen it today in your eyes. And that's why I'm giving you his name. That's why I'm encouraging you to turn back to him, to call his name and turn back unto him. And he says, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon them because of EZER is not among them? Yes, the reason he's telling you what they will say. They will say the reason why they are in the situation they are in is because EZER is no longer among them. Why is not no longer among our people? Because our people are not calling on his name. They are calling the names of the Gentiles, the idols and the demons and the fallen spirits. That's who they are calling on. And he's telling you what they will say. And that's what we're saying today, because I know that's why they are suffering, and that's why they are in the condition they are in. Because they refuse to call on the name of the Most High. They refuse to call his holy, mighty name, the name that is the memorial to all generation. EZER, our Redeemer and Savior. And I will surely hide, EZER say, he will surely hide his face in that day for all the evils which they shall have done. In that they are turned unto GODs and LORDs. That's what our people have turned to, my brothers and sisters. We have to take those names out of our mouth. We have to put back the name of our Redeemer in our mouth. This is what he gave us, that we could communicate with him. He gave us that to communicate with him. We must call him. We have to call him. Those evil ones, they're calling on the name of the demons. They're calling on the name of the idols. They're calling on the names of the fallen angels. They're calling on the names of Lucifer. They're calling on all his blasphemous names. They are selling their souls and calling his name. We, the children of Israel, the ones that EZER has made for himself, the ones whom he have claimed from the land of Egypt, you Hebrew Israelite, we have to call on EZER. We have to call his name. Now therefore, write you this song for you, and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouth, that this song may be a witness for EZER against the children of Israel. Put it in their mouth, because it have to be a witness against the children of Israel. When EZER give you his name, our ancestors accepted it. Now is the time for us to call on him and return. My brothers and sisters, now is the time. Do it. Verse 20. For when EZER shall have brought them into the land that EZER sware unto their fathers, that flow with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten, and fill themselves and wax fat, then will they turn unto other gods. Once our people get satisfied, once they get a little money, they're blessed, and they will pray to idols, and they will never give it up. I is telling you what they will do. They're blessed because they have a job. They're blessed because they're working for the enemy. They're blessed because they have a car. They're blessed because they have a house. And they pray to idols every day. He says, and shall serve them. They're going to turn to they're going to turn to gods, and they will serve them and provoke ire and break his covenant. What was his covenant? His covenant to have no other besides him. To have no savior besides him. Isaiah 45. Have no savior besides him. Have no other name in your mouth besides his own to pray to. Don't pray to no other name. Don't worship no other thing besides other being or whatever it is. It's always have to be higher. That's the covenant we made, our ancestors made in Horeb with the Most High. When he came down and spoke to them. When Shemaiah sprinkled the blood on them. That is the covenant. That they will have no other mighty one before his face. And that's why he told them, that name I'm giving you, don't use it for vain purposes. That name I'm giving you, don't cast it to ruin. It is the most important thing I'm giving you. I'm giving you my name so you can call me. I'm giving you my name so you can get in contact with me. You can find me. That is what he gave us. Continue in 21. And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befall them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness. For it shall not be forgotten out of the mouth of their seeds. Who are their seeds? We are their seeds. For I know their imagination which they go about. Even now, before I have brought them into the land which he sware. I is speaking to Moshe and he's speaking to Joshua. He's telling them, these people, they're going to turn against him. So he tells Moses, write this song down, and they should put it in their mouth. Teach them it. Because the day will come when they will have it in their mouth. Their children will want to know. Their children will get to know. 22. And Moses therefore wrote this song the same day, and taught it the children of Israel. He wrote the song on the same day, and he teach the children of Israel. He teach them. He teach the whole nation that song. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, be strong of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land that I have sworn unto them, and will be with thee, and I will be with you. So he gave him he passed the rulership over to Joshua. He says, you now have to bring them into the land, and I will be with you. And it come to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, the priests, that bear the ark of the covenant of EZER, saying, take this book of the law, put it in the side of the ark. Where he was to put it? Inside the ark. Why he put it inside the ark? That was the contract. That's the covenant. That's the covenant. The paper, like you buy a house, you have to sign the paperwork. You sign a contract. That was the contract, the covenant with the Most High. And it was placed inside the ark. What was the ark? The ark was the holiest place. And that's what they did. That's what the Most High tell them do. As he told them, what they was supposed to put in there as well. They were supposed to put inside the ark the manna. The manna, which was called and it was in the ark, and it was showbread. And that bread was supposed to be in there from generation to generation. So we're going to see what I fed our ancestors with in the wilderness. This is what Ayah is saying to us. That's not no New Testament here talking. Ayah is telling us who is putting in charge to bring our ancestors into the land. This was not something to happen thousands of years later, talking about this is JC. JC is the one he raised up as Moses. Who is JC? Who is he that he raised him up as Moses? Where he was, did Moses know him? The Most High is showing you right here in his word. The one who is raising up like Moses, to be like Moses. He had to take Moses' place. Continue 26. Take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark, inside the ark of the covenant of Ayah your Redeemer, that it may be there for a witness against thee. This covenant is a witness against our people, because every time they break his commandments, that's the witness to say they have broken the commandments, because they have signed an agreement. They had made a covenant with the Most High. So every time they go after after GODs, every time they go after Baal, every time they call the LORD and the GOD, they are breaking this covenant. And this covenant still exists. Ayah has it. Ayah will hold it against us. That's why he says here, that it may be there for a witness against us. For I know thy rebellion, 27, and thy stiff neck. Behold, why I am yet alive with you this day. Sorry, Moses is speaking to them. You have been rebellious against Ayah, and how much more after my death? He said, well, Ayah said this to you, but while I am with you, you have been rebellious. You went and built a calf. You complained when you was hungry. You complained when you was thirsty. You wanted to go back to your captivity in Egypt. So now that I'm dying, I'm going away. I don't know how much rebellious you will be. And he go on to 28. Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. You hear what he says? Gather all the people. Gather the elders, bring them up front. Bring the judges up front. Those who in authority, bring them up front. That he may speak those words unto them. Which was the same words I just read out to you. And he says that he may call heaven and earth to record against them. So he is calling heaven. This will be recorded in heaven. When they break that law, they go, because the law is recorded in heaven. It's an agreement between our people and the Most High. So it's recorded in heaven and it's recorded on earth. Because on earth, it is the agreement is supposed to be in the Ark of the Covenant. It's supposed to be in there. And in heaven, the witness have it up there as well. So my dear brothers and sisters, as far as we have seen, he is telling Joshua, he is showing Joshua what Isaiah says. He is leading Joshua. He is advising Joshua. He has just said that Joshua is the one who have to bring them into the land. Now I'll take you to Deuteronomy chapter 34. 33. Deuteronomy chapter 34, and I will begin in verse 1. And it reads, And Moses went up from the plains of Moab. He went up from on the flat. He went up on the mountain of Nebo to the top of Pisgah, is over against Jericho. And Isaiah showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim, and Manasseh, and all the land of Judea unto the uttermost sea, and the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees. And Isaiah said unto him, This is the land which I have sworn unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto your children, your seeds. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but you shall not go over there. You shall not go into it. He's telling you again that Moshe is not going into the land. They are going to have a new leader. He is going to raise up one unto him. Verse 5. So Shemaiah, Moses, the servant of Isaiah, died there in the land of Moab, according to the words of Isaiah. So he died there in the land. Moses died. And Moses died in Moab, according to the word of Isaiah. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over and against Beth-peor. But no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day. Nobody knew the exact spot where they buried him. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes was not dim, nor his natural force abated. He had good sight. He could speak well when he died. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended. And Joshua, now Moses is buried. They mourn for him for 30 days. Now the mourning is over. Verse 9. And Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom. You see, I removed that spirit, that guiding spirit, that spirit of authority. Now Moses is dead. He put the spirit of authority on Joshua. And Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. You see, Moses laid hands upon him, asked the Most High to give him that courage, what he told him he had to have, and to remove from him all fear, so that he could lead the children under the direction of Isaiah into the land. And the children of Israel hearkened unto him. You see, and then now the children of Israel obeyed Joshua. They hearkened unto him and did as Isaiah commanded Moses. You see, as Isaiah commanded Moses, now Isaiah is commanding Joshua, and the people obeying. They keep listening and they're doing what he say. And there arose not a prophet since in EZER-IAH like unto Moses, whom I knew face to face. And my dear brothers and sisters, this is the verse that a lot of people get mixed up with. The Muslims say it is speaking about Muhammad because he says that he hasn't risen none like Moses. The Christians said this is JC because since then he hasn't risen up anyone like Moses. But read this verse carefully. Take your time and let us read this verse with me again. Hear what the verses say. The verse says, and there arose not a prophet since in EZER-IAH like unto Moses. So what this is saying to you, it is saying this: all the while Moses was in charge, I have not risen up anyone like him. I was not speaking to any other one but him. But now I has risen up another one because Moses has gone to sleep. So now he has risen up one in Moses' place. So he's saying, before Moses, before Joshua, not another one. It was only Moses. Now Moses is gone, Joshua is the next one. So as Moses was speaking to I face to face, so shall I speak with Joshua face to face. Before that, before Moses died, I was speaking to no one face to face except it was Moses. And it is easy to comprehend this if you take your time and read what it is saying. But they don't read it. And then they go with a false doctrine. They go with their own imagination. Excuse me. They go with their false imagination and bring up things that's not in the book. There is no Muhammad here in this book. There is no JC here in this book. It's Joshua. As I said, whose correct name was Yeshua. That's the one I was speaking about. And here I is saying, since before Moses died, he has not risen up anyone while Moses was alive. He had not bring up anyone to speak to. In other words, he's saying, while Moses was in charge, I did not put nobody with him. It was me and him. That's what Ayah said. Ayah was leading him. Remember that? And Moshe laid his hand on Joshua, and Moses tell Joshua, do not be afraid, for Ayah will be with you. And then he come out and tell you here, when Moses died and Joshua take the command, the Spirit went with him. So this is what Ayah is saying to you in this verse. He's saying, he is not saying that since Moses was in existence, he will never raise up another one to him, or next 20 years or 200 years or the next 1,000 years I could raise up one to him. That's not what he's saying. He is saying here, since Moses was in charge and I was with Moses, I did not raise up any other to be with him as to lead or to speak to face. But now I put Moses to sleep. I now raise up Joshua and I will speak to him face to face. And he continues, in all the signs and the wonders that EZER sent him to do in the land of Egypt. You see, EZER only sent Moses or Shemaiah to do all the signs and the wonders in Egypt. He didn't send two people to do signs and wonders. He sent one man to do signs and wonders. He didn't send two people. He sent, they had leaders in the camps. He just told you, he had to call all the elders. They had to call the leaders. They had to call the priests. Yes, all of them was in authority. But when it comes to taking orders from EZER, it was only Moses. It was only one man. Direct orders. And that's what you will find even with the book, in the book of Aaron. When Aaron and his sister find fault because EZER was only talking to Shemaiah, and she asked, is it only him EZER speak to? And what EZER did, EZER turned her white, a sign of sin. He turned her white as a sign of sin. And she had to spend how much days out the camp before she could go back into the camp, until she regained her color, which is black skin. She had to stay out there and take her punishment until EZER decided to turn her back to her original color, which is black skin. My dear brothers and sisters, this is what the book is saying to you. This book is not telling you that there is someone that will raise up thousands of years later, as they're telling you about JC. He didn't talk about no one coming up years later, as they're telling you about. The Muslim telling you it's Muhammad. Gentiles, they're telling you it's Muhammad. And the Gentiles telling you it is JC. They're all false doctrine. They are false doctrine. Here we can see it. You don't see no Muhammad there. You don't see no JC there. His name is right in your face. They changed the J and the O and they give you Joshua. But his correct name was Ushua. Ishua. I-S-H-U-A, which means EZER salvation. EZER was the one that would bring, he was the one to bring the children into the promised land. He was the one that was going to take them into the promised land. So let us continue. He says, and in all that might, hand, the mighty hand, and in all the great terror that Moses showed in the sight of EZER-IAH. All that Moses did in the sight in Egypt, in front of the nation of EZER-IAH, the plagues, the death of the firstborn, the frogs, the blood water, the snake turning into a stick, the stick turning into a snake, the flies, the river, the sea, the river turning blood, the sea opening up, manna coming down from heaven. All of this EZER spoke only to Moses. Now he will start to speak to Joshua, the one who he will raise up like Moses. Right here he is saying in verse 10 in chapter 34 of Deuteronomy, he is saying now he will speak to Moses as he spoke to Joshua. As he spoke to Moses, he will speak to Joshua. As Joshua did, as Moses did the miracles in Egypt, now Joshua will begin to do the same thing, because EZER is with him now. EZER is directing him now. So let us go. I will take you now to the book of Joshua, and I will begin in chapter 1. And it reads, now, after the death of Moses, the servant of EZER, it came to pass that EZER spoke unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister. Here we see, he has confirmed to you He has brought it home to you. He have just told you. Now he began to speak to Joshua. He's not speaking to Moses no more because Moses is dead and buried. So now he is speaking to Joshua, the one whom he raised up unto Moses when Moses died and was buried. Before that, there was no one else. The Most High was not speaking to anyone else but Moses. This is what he is saying to you. And Moses, my servant, is dead. He continued to explain. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise. Who arise? Joshua. He telling Joshua to arise. What did he say in the beginning in 18? In Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18? He will raise up one. He go raise one. Here in chapter 12, in chapter 34, verse 10, what did he say? There arose not, there was none raised up. There was none yet raised up. Here we see now he raising up this one. Who is he raising up? Let us go back to verse 1 and read it again. Now after the death of Moshe, the servant of EZER-IAH, it came to pass that EZER spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, listen what EZER is saying to Joshua. Moses, he says, Moses, my servant, is dead. The Most High is speaking to him. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, you, Joshua, because that's what he's saying. He said, now, therefore, arise. So you see how he is raising up that person he said he's going to raise up? One. Right here, he's telling us who he is raising up. He tell him to raise up, arise, and go over this Jordan, you and all your people, all these people, unto the land which I do give unto them, even to the children of EZER-IAH. He said, now I raising you up, raise up, and go over into this land. This land, I am giving it to you and the whole of EZER-IAH. I'm giving it to you guys. How much of the followers from Egypt went over to that land? It was Joshua and Lot's brother. I can't remember his name. Lot's brother. All the others died. All the others died. It wasn't much of them still alive, but he chose Joshua as a leader after Moses to bring him in there. And he is telling you now, he started to speak to Joshua. And he said unto him, every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that I have given unto you, as I said unto Moses. Here you see, he referring Moses to him. He said, as I said to Moses, this is what I said to you. So every footstep you make on those lands, that's your land with your people. You have to divide that land among the people. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea towards the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. There shall not be any man be able to stand before thee all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with you. I will not fail you nor forsake you. Do you hear what the Most High just said to him? The Most High just raised him up and tell him, there shall not be any man be able to stand up before you. Just like there was no other man to stand up before Moses. There was none. There was none to tell Moses what to do except EZER. Here the Most High is explaining to Joshua, The same thing will be with you. No man gonna tell you what to do. I will tell you what to do. No man shall stand before you all the days of your life. As long as you are alive, like as long as Moses was alive, nobody was telling him what to do but me. Here the Most High is telling him, as long as you are alive, no man is going to tell you what to do but me. As I was with Moses, he said, as I was with him, as I was directing him, so will I be with you. So will I talk with you. As I was talking to him, so will I talk with you. I was talking to him face to face. I will talk to you face to face. I was talking to you alone. I was talking to him alone. I will talk to you alone. I will not fail you. I have not failed him. I will not fail you. I will not forsake you. This is the one who I raised up, my brothers and sisters. It's right there in your book. Chapter 1, verses 2. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise. I am speaking to him. Now my servant Moses is dead. Therefore arise. And then when he raised him up, he tell him down here, no man shall stand before you all the days of your life. No man go conquer you. No man go destroy you. No man go talk to you. No man go give you no orders. No man go push you around. As I was with Moses, how he was with Moses, he was talking to Moses. He even talked to him face to face. Here he said, as I talk to him. So if I talk to him face to face, so will I talk with you. I will talk to you face to face as well. That is what he said. As I was with Moses, so will I be with you. I will not fail you. The same thing he told Moses to tell him. Be of good courage and not be afraid. For I will go before you, and he will destroy your enemies before your face. Nor forsake you. So he's telling him, I will not forsake you. I will not forget you. I will put no man to talk to before you. When I speak, it's you. I'm speaking to you and then go speak to somebody and tell them to come and tell you anything. I'm speaking to you. You are the one I'm raising up as I had raised up Moses. Just like I raised up Moses, I'm raising you up. Why am I raising you up as I raise up Moses? Moses has gone to sleep. I put him to sleep because he disobeyed my orders. What was the order Moses disobeyed? When he struck the rock, he was supposed to glorify EZER when he struck the rock. He did not do it. He called it, instead of glorifying EZER in front of Israel, he called them rebels. And the Most High told him his duty was to glorify him in front of the whole nation. Everything. Glorify him for the sea, the crossing of the sea. Glorify him for the plagues in the land. Glorify him for the manna from the heavens. Glorify him for the quails. Glorify him for destroying the serpents. Glorify him. He was supposed to glorify him in front of the whole nation at all times. In that time, he failed. Why he failed? Because the stiff-necked, hard-headed Israelites, they were so hard. All what they got, they can't be satisfied. They want to go back to Egypt. They wanted food. When they get food, they wanted bread. I drop bread for them. When they get it, they eat. No, they wanted water. They were so thirsty. I make them thirsty before you give them water. When they get the water, what they wanted? They wanted flesh. Then I caused the quail to fall among them. But they were so miserable that when he gave them the quail, he caused some of them to die eating it. They eat too much. They were so gluttonous. They eat it until they die. And this is what I is saying here to you. And he go on to verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Who's speaking here now? I is speaking here. The very words I speak to Moses to speak to Joshua. No, I is speaking it to him himself. He said, be strong and of good courage. For unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers, to give it to them. Only be thou strong. Again, he telling them, be strong. Because the people are not, they're not humble people. They're not quiet people. They are not satisfied people. They're rowding. They want to go back to Egypt. They miss their steak. They miss their lamb chop. They miss, although they was going through the slavery and punishment, they love the enemy. Like today, if I was to move us out of this land today, maybe half of them will turn back on the way. While they're going, they turn back to come back. They go miss it. They go want to come back in it. And that's how they go destroy with the enemy. They go be destroyed with the enemy. All those who turn back, all those who love it, all those who don't want to leave it, they're going to die with the enemy, my dear brothers and sisters. They're going to make that judgment and they go turn back. They go miss the steak. They go miss the shrimp. They go miss the pork chop. They go miss the shark. They go miss the clothes. They go miss the jewelry. They go miss the highway. They go miss all of that. And they go turn back. They go be deceived because in them is a deceiving spirit. They go pretend that they love the Most High. They go pretend that they are awakened. They go pretend, but they will not call on his name. They will say they are awakened. They will say they are changed. They will say they are blessed. They will say they have changed their lives. But they will not call his name. And you cannot go to the Father without calling his name. He's going to cause you to turn back. He said, when I call on the name of EZER, my Redeemer, so shall my enemies be turned backwards. Listen to the words of EZER, your Redeemer. When I call on the name of EZER, my Redeemer, my enemies shall be turned backwards. Do you know what you're saying when you say this? Do you comprehend when the Most High say you have to love him with your whole heart, your whole soul, all your strength? Do you comprehend when you say that they compass you about, but with his name you shall overcome them? Do you comprehend when you say, my Father who art in heaven, praise be to your name? Do you know what you're saying? But you refuse to call his name. You refuse to call his name, and then you're telling him that you're praising his name. You are a liar, and the truth is not in you. You are a liar, and you despise his name. You are just like the enemy. You are just like the Gentiles. You're doing the same thing. EZER said so. And it goes on to say, fail thee, not forsake thee. He says, only be thou strong and be courageous, that thou may observe to do according to all the law. We have to keep the law that Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou may prosper wheresoever thou goest. You cannot prosper if you turn away from the law of EZER. EZER has given us a law. We have to call his name. He said, whosoever shall call on his name. His name is your rock and your refuge, your shield and your buckler. He said, in his name you will set up your banner. You say those words. You say you praise his name, but you're not calling his name. You need to change your ways and submit to EZER, your Redeemer and Savior. That Moses my servant commanded you. Turn not from the law to the right hand or to the left, that thou may prosper wheresoever thou goest. You want to prosper? Follow all the laws of EZER, your Redeemer, and do what he says. He says he is your Redeemer. He says he is your Savior. He says besides him there is no Savior. He said he has redeemed you out of the land of Mizraim. He has paid a ransom for you. He has given up nations for you. He has given up Egypt. He has given up Ethiopia. He has given them up for you. You are his. Isaiah 43. Read it from verse 1. Verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth. Shall not depart out of your mouth, but you shall meditate therein day and night, that thou may observe to do according to all that is written in it, in the law. You have to do everything that is written in the law. So when your pastor is telling you you are no longer under the law, like that Paul been telling them there is nothing to gain from keeping the law. Listen what EZER is saying to Joshua, to tell the people. Listen to what he is saying. You may observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. You out there, you Christians who like success and love money, and going to the pastor and giving them your money for you to get more money. Hear what he is telling you. For you to get success, you have to keep the law. The same law the demonic pastors and them are telling you, you are no longer obligated to keep. You have to keep the law. Have not I commanded thee? I say, have not I commanded thee? You be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For I, your Redeemer, is with you wheresoever you go. My dear brothers and sisters, this is commands, these are instructions, these are the Most High is saying to us as a people, wherever we go, I will be with us. We are not to be afraid. We're supposed to be of good courage. Remember, he said to the people, and then he went and said to Joshua, he's telling him what they have to be, how they have to be. EZER is with us wherever we go. Why? We have his name wherever we go. That's the only thing the enemy cannot take from us. They have hidden his name from us for hundreds of years. But once you have it, they cannot take it. That's why they hid it. That's why they didn't want you to learn to read and write. That's why they didn't want you to have a book. That's why the only book they teach you is the one they wrote, the lying New Testament. That's the one they want you to know. Why? Because they know if you believe in this false book, you will never be successful. You will never be awakened. You will never be blessed. You will be always condemned. Read Deuteronomy 28. You will always be bringing on yourself curses. Why? Because you are worshiping their gods. You are worshiping the idols and the deities and the evil spirits and the fallen angels and even Lucifer himself. Wake up. Open your eyes and read your book. Your book is from Genesis to Malachi. Your book is from Genesis to Malachi. The Creator did not give us a people a new book. He gave us holy scriptures. He gave us the Holy Scrolls. It's from Genesis to Malachi. He said he has protected it with his Holy Spirit to bring it unto us. Read it, and keep the commandments of EZER, your Redeemer. Read the Psalm 118 and see what EZER tell you about his name. You have to use his name to destroy your enemies. Read it. 118. You have to use his name to destroy the ones who knocking you about, who compassing you about, who pushing you around, who put you in slavery, who put you in this, or who ill-treat you, who knock your head, who kill your children, who destroy you, who not feed you. You have to use his name to destroy them. Then read 119th Psalm. You have to learn his laws. You must keep his commandments. You must learn his laws so that you could get his promises, all the promises he made to us. You have to read, you have to do his laws to get his promises to us. And I continue. He says here, have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. That's 9, verse 9. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For I, your Redeemer, is with you wherever you go. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the host and command the people, saying, prepare your victuals, for within 3 days you shall pass over this Jordan to go to possess the land which I, your Redeemer, has given unto you to possess it. Verse 12. And to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half the tribe of Manasseh, speak Joshua, saying, remember the word which Moses the servant of EZER commanded you, saying, EZER, your Redeemer, has given you rest, and has given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your cattle shall remain in the land that Moses gave you on this side of Jordan. But you shall pass before your brethren army and the mighty men of valor and help them. Here he's telling them, he's telling this tribe of Manasseh, this where we are here is your portion. But I need you to go with the other tribes to make sure they get to the land. And when they get to the land, you won't come back to yours. This is what he's saying to them, my dear brothers and sisters. And they answered Joshua, saying, all that, verse 16, they answered him, saying, all that you, and they answered Joshua, saying, all that you command us we will do, and whatsoever thou send us we will go. Just like they obeyed Moses, they had to obey Joshua. That's the one whom he raised up unto Moses as Moses. We will go. Verse 17. According as we hearken unto Moses in all things, so will we hearken unto you. Only EZER, our Redeemer, be with you. Here they're telling him, as long as it's EZER directing you, we will do whatever you say. We will go wherever you send us. As long as EZER is guiding you, as he was with Moses, we will do whatever you say. We will go wherever you send us. And he says, verse 18, whosoever he be that rebel against your commands, and will not hearken unto your words in all that thou hast commanded him, he shall be put to death. The same thing Ai gave to Moses. Anyone who disobey you, they shall be put to death. Here, they are saying the same thing to Joshua. Anyone who disobeys your command shall be put to death. Only be strong. All he have to do is to be strong and be of good courage. He had to be strong and be of good courage and trust our Redeemer. So now, my brothers and sisters, I think I've made my point, but I will go a little more with you. I will take you into chapter 2, and I will read verse 24. He says here, verse 24, and they said unto Joshua, truly, Ai has delivered into our hands all the land, for even all the inhabitants of the country faint before us. Just like the people used to run away from Moses, they're running away from Joshua. See, and then I want you to continue to read and see all what Joshua, the things he have accomplished. Joshua parted the sea just like Moses did, the river. He did the river like how Moses did the sea. You know, he put up the stone with the made the temple as Moses did. Everything that Moses did, Joshua has done it. Read the whole book and you will see. Read it. Then go to chapter 3, Joshua chapter 3, and we're going to read chapter 3. We will read 5 to 17. Chapter 3, 5 to 17. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves for tomorrow, for I will do wonders among you. And Joshua spake unto the priests, saying, take up the ark of the covenant and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. And Ai said unto Joshua, this day will I begin to magnify thee. This day he will begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel. This day he's going to start to work miracles for Joshua in the sight of all of Israel. From that day, this is chapter 3. And we go into 5 to 17. This is verse 7. Here he is telling Joshua, and Ai said unto Joshua, this day, from this day, he will magnify Joshua in the sight of all the people, that they may know that Ai was, as he was with Moses, so he will be with Joshua. Read it. Look at it right there, verse 7. Excuse me. He will magnify Joshua, and all the people will know, as he was with Moses, so he is now with Joshua. And thou shalt command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when you come to the brink of the water of the Jordan, you shall stand still in Jordan. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, come hither and hear the word of Ai your Redeemer. And Joshua said, hereby you shall know that the living Redeemer is among you, and that you will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Hivites, and the Perizzites, and the Gagonites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of Ai of all the earth pass over before you in Jordan. Now therefore take your 12 men out of the tribe of Israel, out of every tribe a man, and it shall come to pass, as soon as the sole of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of Ai, your Redeemer of all the earth, shall rest in the water of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above, and they shall stand upon an heap. And it come to pass, when the people remove from their tents to pass over Jordan, the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, and as they that bear the ark came into the Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brim of the water from Jordan, overflowed all its bank all the time of harvest, that the waters which came down from above stood and rose up upon a heap very far from the city of Ada, and it besides Zekatan, and there that came down towards the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, failed and were cut off, and the people passed over right against Jericho. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of EZER-IAH stood firm on dry ground as they went into the river, just like he commanded Moses to stretch the rod and part the sea. No, he tell Joshua, send the men, 12 men, one represent each tribe, into the river. And as the sole of their feet, they had to carry the ark. As the sole of their feet touched the water, see what happened? The water dried up. The river stopped flow. It back up. On the either what go down, and what was on top, stop. And they went across on dry ground, just like Moshe did with them when they crossed the Red Sea. The same things that Moses did, EZER now started to do it with Joshua. And until all the people pass clear over the Jordan, and until all the people pass over Jordan, when they pass over Jordan, let's go to verse 4. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, that EZER speak unto Joshua, saying, Take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe a man. Command you them, saying, Take you hence out of the midst of Jordan. So he tell them, get the same, another 12 men, put them in the river, and let them do what? Go into the midst of the river, out of the place where the priest's feet stood, right where they went in the water and the water dried up and parted for the people to pass. Go right there and pick up what? 12 stones, a stone for each of the tribe, just like he did with Moshe. He is doing it with Joshua. Pick up 12 stones, and you shall carry them over with you, and leave them and carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where you shall lodge this night. He tell him, take these stones and go where you are resting tonight. Put this stone down where you're resting tonight. Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel, out of every tribe a man. And Joshua said unto them, Pass over before the ark of EZER your Redeemer into the midst of Jordan. Take you up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of the tribe of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean you by these stones? Just like he did with Moses when he tell him, take the manna and put it in the ark. When your children ask you, what is that going to be the showbread? Tell them why you have this bread. Tell them that's the bread that EZER gave them when they was hungry in the wilderness. And they say, what do you mean by these stones? Then you shall answer them, that the waters of Jordan was cut off before the ark of the covenant of EZER. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. That was to prove, to show that the water dried up for they to pass. Just like they did when they crossed the sea. My dear brothers and sisters, I would like you to continue to read the whole book of Joshua. Because when you read the book of Joshua, you will be seeing everything that Moses did. Everything that Moses did, Joshua did it. Everything. My time is limited as right now, so I'll have to stop here. I stop here, but you can continue to read the whole chapters, the book of Joshua. Then read Deuteronomy and see what he says. It's the same thing he spoke to Moses, it's the same thing he did to Joshua. So I hope that this has enlightened you with the comprehension that Joshua was the one who was raised up as Moses. And you will continue the reading and you will see it. And you will see, if I continue down the line, you'll see just like Moses had to circumcise the children of EZER-IAH, Joshua had to do the same thing in chapter 5. In chapter 5, verse 2, Joshua had to circumcise all the male children that was born in the wilderness that was not circumcised when they left Egypt. He had to circumcise all of them because they were supposed to be circumcised before they went into the land. And Joshua made the knives and how he removed their foreskin and so on. I would like you to continue the reading. So I will say a prayer with you and I will end this video. Say, I am my shepherd. I am my shepherd. Be with me and let me never be in want. Make me to lie down in your green pasture. Lead me beside your still water. Restore my soul in your path of righteousness for your name's sake. And as I walk through this valley of the shadow of death, let me fear no evil. Be with me. Let your rod and your staff comfort me. Prepare your table before me in the presence of my enemies. And anoint my head with your holy oil until my cup run, until it overflow. Let your goodness and your mercy follow me all the days of my life. And let me dwell in your house forever. When you set up your kingdom upon this earth, let me be there to dwell forever, O EZER, my Redeemer. I lift up my eyes unto you, from you cometh my help. My help comes from you who make heaven and earth. You shall not suffer me to be moved. You neither put me to shame. You who keep me shall not slumber. Behold, you who keep EZER-IAH shall neither slumber nor sleep. EZER be my keeper. EZER be the shade upon my right hand. Let not the sun smite me by day, nor the moon by night. Preserve me, EZER, from all evil. EZER preserve my soul. EZER keep my going out and my coming in from this time forth and forevermore. O my Father, EZER who is in heaven, praise be to your name. Your kingdom will come on earth one day, now as it is in heaven. Give us this day and every day our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. And let us not be led into temptation. And deliver us from all evil. For yours is the power and the glory forever and ever. You will judge my oppressors. You will judge those who have judged me wrongfully. You will judge all those who have taken advantage on your people. You are the one who will judge for me. I glorify you, my Father, the Father of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, the Father of EZER-IAH and Judea. You who made me in your image and in your likeness. You who has given me your name and your commandments, and have given me all your promises. I glorify you and sing praises unto you for your great glory. Praise be to EZER. All praise be to EZER. All praise be to EZER. EZER is great. EZER is great. EZER, your name is excellent to me upon this earth. EZER, your name is excellent to me. For wherever I go, I can call your name. As long as I have life and I breathe your breath, I will praise your name. With every breath I take, with every step I make, I will praise your name, O EZER, my Redeemer. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you, Aya, for everything. I thank you, Aya, for everything. I thank you, Aya, for everything.